Hi everybody, it's Joe Chaffee here, SNS Storm Chasers, as we take a look at what's happening severe weather-wise today. A few things going on. One is that we have, of course, the departing rains from Tropical Storm Colin that have now moved almost all done, just about done on the Carolinas, except for the extreme Outer Banks, and they'll be done there shortly as this tropical system, soon to be extratropical or post-tropical, races away to the northeast. And then we also have in New England today and through much of upstate New York, and actually the southern edge of the marginal risk runs down into northwest New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, all of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and all of New England, with a slight risk of severe as you move up through Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And then that extends back into northeastern Pennsylvania. And the risk of thunderstorms, some scattered thunderstorms, goes back down into northern Virginia. And this is due to the fact that we have a lot going on in the atmosphere, which we're gonna take a look at this. I'm gonna fix the zoom up so we can focus our attention a little better on these fabulous models of ours, which are always fun to use. And I'm not sure why it's not letting me widen the screen. So let's try and fix this up real quick. There we go. I think that'll work better. Okay, so we're going to look at the GFS from overnight, the mid-run, and I'll go back to the earlier run just to show you what's happening. First off, there's Colin moving away to the northeast, and because it's interacting with what's going on up in eastern Canada, we have a big, strong upper air vortex, and I think Colin may wind up strengthening as a post-tropical storm the way winter storms do, and that moves out. But we actually have cold air aloft that's so cold that it's generating this circular blue line. You see this dashed blue line. This is not to get too technical, but the lines, the red lines, and then you go into the blue lines, they basically measure how cold the atmosphere is. Okay, and as you get colder, at the point where we start to deal with the freezing issues aloft, especially this time of year, we start to go into the color blue. So we call them thickness lines. And the atmosphere here is so cold that if this were the winter time, we'd be looking at snow. But instead, because it's so cold and unstable aloft, when this disturbance moves through and the strong sun from this time of year heats it up on Wednesday, we're going to get some thunderstorms that will develop, pop-up thunderstorms, and they actually could be strong enough to produce gusty winds and some hail. And model indicates that in terms of showing some precip during the middle of the day tomorrow when the core of the cold air moves overhead and then moves out. Now, we'll be dry going into the weekend. I don't know if this is real. Models have been hinting at energy dropping down from eastern Canada on southward off the New England coast over the weekend with some sort of weather front. And for some reason, last night's models decided to go a little deeper and a little more southwest. So it actually takes a surface low down across central Pennsylvania to Delaware and makes a nice little nor'easter here. Now, that's a very deep low for this time of year. I'm very skeptical of this. That's why I'm not really going to go too crazy with this idea until I see a couple of more runs. The European run from last night did not do this. It had a low that drops down essentially from New England. I'll show you what the GFS did on the prior run, which up until now to me made the most sense anyway. It does wind up with a deep low, but the low tracks across New York State, moves off eastern Long Island, intensifies, and then sits off the New England coast. This would be pretty windy if this were the case, if this were to happen like this. Very unusual to see this, but I take nothing for granted given what's going on in Canada with these vortexes that keep popping up, and give you a perspective here in terms of the upward dynamics. You can see that what's happening. Here's today. Here's that upper air disturbance that's going to swing through here. This is very, very deep and very cold aloft for this time of year. And then it pulls out, and then the atmosphere kind of relaxes a bit as we go into the weekend, but it's still not indicating anything that would produce heat by any stretch of the imagination. And then another disturbance rotates around the mean vortex position in northeastern Canada and moves off the coast southeast of Long Island and Cape Cod. So that was this is last night's run, and we'll go back to the in-between run. And what's happened is everything's a little bit further to the left. So you get the digging that comes down, winds up being further left. So you get most of the energy wind up being more southwest and develops in our backyard. So that's an actually really impressive upper air system for this time of year. Sometimes you can go through that the whole winter and not see things like this. And actually, we did go through the winter and not really see anything quite like this. So that's really the story in a nutshell. Risk of severe weather today up in New England. Tomorrow for the entire area. Also down to us today, parts of the area, Hudson Valley, northeastern Pennsylvania and Connecticut, and extending into northwest New Jersey. That's what the Storm Prediction Center has shown for us. And for tomorrow, there'll just be a general area of thunderstorms that'll be common through the northeast because of this cold upper air system. And Tropical Storm Colin will be soon to be no more as it moves away to the northeast. So have a great day, and we will tune back in with all the latest S&S Storm Chasers. When you see severe weather, we're chasing them.